Ladies and gentlemen, good hot inflation morning. We're gonna get into all that stuff here in a little bit, but it cracks me up. Raging inflation. 3.2 was expected, 3.4, and the Fed's done, right? And talking about cutting rates. Inflation is sticky, it's elevated, and it ain't going anywhere. And kind of like I say about Chinese data, it's probably a lie. So it coming in at 3.4, it's probably even hotter. And it's funny because, well, we talk about this often, right? I don't believe anything, any number the government puts out, especially under a Democratic administration, when the vast majority of people that work at the BLS and all those places are Obama and Biden supporters. It's federal record when they donate, your name's on there. So I guarantee you it's higher. Why? Because I don't see inflation going down. I haven't seen any price decreases anywhere. So we'll get into the inflation stuff in a little bit, but you know, it's so funny to see that gap up at the open, and then of course it faded pretty hard. We got to bounce off 75, but we'll keep an eye on it. But and we'll talk in a little bit about managing Amazon and some of the positions. I have short calls that are underwater, and obviously a bear call spread that is underwater. We talked about potentially dogfighting those yesterday. And if you didn't attend that brief, I invited the solo Amazon people in here today. I'll go ahead and kind of re-talk through that again. Um, ooh, there's a leg down. I'm telling you, man, once this sinks into the market ain't going to be celebrating 3.4% CPI. Um, can be completely wrong. Hey, real quick, tomorrow at 10 a.m., Daniel's going to come and brief the Oregon opportunity. I need you to go look. There's the link to register. I need you to go look underneath the materials tab, and you will see the offering. So it's right there. So you got essentially 24 hours to check this out, to look at the math, the background. It's a really good it's a really good uh, it's an incredible opportunity, to be honest with you. I'm not going to take his thunder, uh, but no, kid, this is not a part of the healing REIT. Not to say that the REIT doesn't acquire it. I don't. I'm not in any of that stuff, man. Uh, so good question. You would think this would be a property. So, kid, as you know, this is all swirling around in kind of the same universe. So, you know what? Ask Daniel tomorrow. Um, this is pretty conservative when I looked at a lot of the math. Initial startup cost of about 360, 3-year conservative. There goes the S&P 500 forecast north of 6 million in 3 years. And that's just based on current demand. And I'm not going to just say Oregon because guess what? Everybody in the United States knows or should know or will know about Prop 109. And, you know, it's interesting because in the database, the vast majority are from out of state, out of Oregon. I mean, there's a lot of people in Oregon looking for healing, but there's 49 other states. And until Colorado fully gets up to speed, they're still going through the yeah, exactly. They're still going through the process. Oregon's first; it's ready to go. So again, not going to steal Daniel's highlights, but it's a pretty cool opportunity here. Okay, so that'll be tomorrow morning at 10. You can download the deck right now, look through it, write down your questions like Kid just asked, because that's a really good question. It would make sense, wouldn't it? So to have the REIT acquire that. All right, we're going to knock out a quick. There goes the S&P 500. Die, baby, die. What is the download link? So Doug, over in the materials, you guys don't see materials? Oh, I think I need to enable it, right? View. I don't know why they do this. Options. Attendees cannot chat. Attendees, wait, file. I don't know why it does this, man. I uploaded this stuff and it's staring. I don't know why it does this, man. This is so effing annoying. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. You guys are nuts. It's there. I'm seeing it, right? It's on. Yeah, look at that, man. Die S&P 500 die. It's on there, guys. There's a materials tab. It says materials parentheses with two. So okay, good, Doug. All right, everybody's got it. There's also the lifetime agreement, which we'll get into in a second. Look at the S&P 500. What they tell you? If you were smart at the open, this is like that yoga session. I came out of yoga one day and it was a hot CPI print in the car. I'm voice texting to the Max Afterburner group. I'm like, futures being up on hot inflation, sell a snipe right at the open. If you had done that this morning, you're looking pretty damn good. But the market is not going to dig this, folks. So nice little rollover. Let's see if Amazon's starting to give up some of the ghost here too. That's just been of course it isn't. It's they ain't over yet, but Amazon should be giving up the ghost because raging inflation is not bullish. Period. I don't usually when I say the market I don't get this, it ends up getting it. So all right, let's go. I love this quote from Daryl. I'm a retired contractor, beat with a hammer all my life, fought city permit offices, government officials, bad labor, made a decent living. Since I joined Top Gun Options, I can make a grand in minutes on my own. Folks, you had better diversify and learn how to do everything you can to get defensive. So this past year was awesome. Triple digit return. If you started trading at Top Gun Options in the Max Afterburner or the Hunters, you made over 100% if you did all my trades. And of course, I don't tell you. Holy crap! Look at the S&P 500. Burn, baby, burn. This is why we have on our treads our SPX bearish double vertical. Knew this was going to happen. All right. So 2023, we had a blast. I moved from, over the past 2 years, I moved from deploying a bunch of ships, right? We used to trade synthetic stock on Raytheon and JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs. We had a transport, CSX. All of that failed. Or if it gets back to being that, I'll do that. But man, we were trading the S&P 500 like crazy. Why did you rob banks? That's where the money is. So we had a blast trading the insanity last year. This year, folks, is going to be there you go. Look at that, Tony. Tony shot a sniper right at the open, and you're printing money. I think the market wants 47.50 here, which would be awesome. So 2023 was epic. One of my best years of trading. Obviously, the COVID crash was obscene, and I hope it doesn't. Well, I hope it happens again, but not because of a scandemic or a plandemic or whatever that was. But that was you guys know that was just absolute insanity. Like $2.5 million in a couple weeks. That was obscene, right? Um, but we can do that again if something similar to that happens again, right? Bill Ackman and Kyle Bass and all those guys, the smart money. Who's the Ackman was. Who's the crybaby? We need to shut the markets. We need to just shut the markets and everybody kind of, go to their corners. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not how this works. I got bearish trades on you, punk. And of course, they didn't, but we printed money. Biden's senior year is going to be not going to be. It is a nightmare. Um, here's the prediction. Here's my 2024 whiz prediction. He ain't going to be the nominee. You can take that to the bank. When Obama, it's the third Obama administration. He's in the background looking at the polls. David Axelrod, his kind of math piece is like he needs to go. So I don't know who gets to him. Is it a lunch with Obama in the Oval Office or wherever? That's like Joe, because he listens to him. He's an idiot. He listened to him with Hillary. No, Joe, you've been a loyal vice president for 8 years. It's Hillary's turn. Oh man, but, and then they hit him in the basement during COVID and used fear. And I love they're using the same tired tropes from last time. It'll end democracy. It'll be a dictator. People in concentration camps. It's just so funny to hear. What am I ranting about? When, not if, Biden drops out, we might see more of a rip your face off rally for this year. War, you guys know this. We are Middle East, Asia. It's getting worse, not getting better. More attacks against U.S. troops. More of our troops are wounded every day. Houthi, Houthi rebels running around in tents with camels and drones, waging war against the United States Navy and global shipping. It's going to get worse. Xi Jinping, if he's smart, takes Taiwan during this turmoil. We're awful. We can't get our shit together. Inflation, folks. 3.4%. So I didn't even need to go look at it. Let's draw it. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Biden and Democrats. We had nothing to do with that. What's going down? We had everything to do with that. Down to where it was under Trump. Boing. If you see the boing this morning and you're the Fed, are you done? I told you they're not done. And that guy, Jerome Powell, whoever got to him and said, oh, yeah, it's time to start thinking about cutting. Dude, we're burning to death. I know in the Beltway you don't give a shit and you don't live like normal Americans. We're burning to death from inflation. You failed miserably. Look at that, 47.54. I said 47.50. Already talked about the election. Bottom line, what's my bottom line? I could not be more bearish on the United States of America and the economy. What does that mean? Buy everything with both hands. Not necessarily everything, buy quality. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're new, the stock market is not the economy. There's a good article on Zero Hedge this morning talking about the top 10% in this country own 98% of equities and stocks and stuff. Okay. And I will tell you, the shittier that the economy does, the higher the stock market can go. There you go, Ponch. Ponch out there hitting the snipers on the Russell. So I know that might not compute with you, and we're part of the evil 10%. But ladies and gentlemen, I was going Southwest. I ain't paying $8 for, I'll pay $8 for a venti upside down caramel macchiato, but it's the man in me that won't pay $8 for internet on Southwest. I'm going through all my old pictures. I had a screenshot of CNBC one day when Jerome Powell, it was a picture of him and a quote underneath his picture. It said, I will do whatever it takes to support the economy. Translate, it was just like Mario Draghi when he was the ECB president, that famous quote, I will do whatever it takes to support the euro. When you hear people, and again, folks, this is new whiz with the mission within shirt on. New whiz, my face would be melting off. Do not touch a thing, Jerome Powell. You have two mandates, full employment and inflation. You suck at one of them right now. Do your job. But they care about the stock market, right? The whole wealth effect thing. So bearish on the world, bearish on the United States, bearish on our political system, bearish on the economy, bullish on the S&P 500. I mean, we're going to have some chop. We're starting to see the beginning of it, but this is, um, yours is showing empty. Let me go. Is anybody else having problems with the materials tab? Let me. I think he sent it to me in a Google. I wonder if I can. Yeah, it's a Google Drive link. Let me give you this link. It's to Google Drive. See if this works. Control V. All right, there you go. Let me know if that works. All right, so I'm going to have even more fun this year. Again, I don't care which way the market goes, up, down, or sideways, but obviously, market up, it helps some people with their 401ks that they haven't rated to pay for the rent and medical expenses. Um, but me, I love volatility. I'm still laughing about this. Awesome, Bob. 9% The smart money finished the year up 9%. That's 1,700 hedge funds that were surveyed in the Barclay hedge. Barclay just kind of goes out and samples. They don't look at the top, the bottom. That's kind of the average. Last 3 months, man, have been pretty insane. That rip your face off Santa Claus rally, and then the beginning of December, Jerome Powell saying we're not done yet to saying we are done and we're going to be cutting rates, and then the market just went, holy shit, we're never looking back. Well, guess what? And then obviously personal account, 108%. The Nasdaq 36%, S&P 18, the Dow is you could have made more money in a savings account. So if you started January 1st of last year in the Max Afterburner and the Hunters, you made 108%. Nice job, Dwayne. And the vast majority of that happened when we had the shit show implosion, when it got really volatile. This was boring. Most of the year, I'm like, I'm in there, and then I'm like, it got really sporty, and I'm like, this is fantastic. Solo Amazon crushed it, primary crushed it, weekly options crushed it, AR crushed it. And you can see in each one of those portfolios, except Solo Amazon, it was the majority of it was the S&P 500. We shot some Bud and Loom and Target on some stupidity. Those were shots of opportunity. So, but the majority has been the S&P 500. Why do I do that? Folks, you trade, and yeah, Goldman Sachs, you trade what you know, right? The S&P 500, 500 of the biggest names, the vast majority of the companies medium to large in this country are in the S&P 500. Now I know Ponch trades the rut, not a bad idea to start looking at attacking, Russell 2000, who's buried in Grant's tomb. How many names in the Russell 2000? 2000, right? So a little bit of a wider swath. So the rut is definitely an opportunity to trade, but I've been trading the S&P 500 for about 30 years and kind of know it. That's why when I look at something like that, I'm like, it's going to go down and hit 4750. And that's exactly what it did. I did that last week. That day, I'm like, it's going to go right down to 4,700, and it did. So I'm going to open up the door. Two people have reached out. I don't know what people do. End of year, they're closing stuff, and they started the year with. They're like, okay, now I'm ready to join. I'm like, okay, good, because there's about 7 people who still haven't paid their annual fee, so they've been booted from the Max Afterburner group. So there is room. So if you're ready to upgrade in the Max Afterburner, I'll give you the link to join the Hunters too, because I invited our solo Amazon members to join us today. If you're ready to it's crawl, walk, run, right? The gateway drug to get in here is solo Amazon to make sure I'm not a complete idiot. Then people kind of upgrade to full throttle, which can include the Hunters Investment Club. And then after, some people hang out in there, they're like, all right, let's go lifetime here. I showed you the Barrett's double vertical before Christmas made 11 grand in 3 hours. And people reached out like, dude, I can pay for lifetime now. I'm like, all right, let me open the doors. Real quick reminder, this is what we do. Over on the left side of the Chinese wall is our trading environment. Solo Amazon, if you trade the weekly options on futures, and also obviously full throttle. But for folks who are ready to jump over the fence and actually get airborne, I did my training whiz. I'm ready to invest some real capital. There's 2 investment clubs, the Hunters and obviously the Lifetime group is called Max Afterburner. Really, really awesome. You should know what investment clubs are by now. Investment clubs are very standard. The Beardstown ladies, Tiger 21. It's they're very popular. Hell, there's the FAU investing club across the street that have invited. They have like a trading floor. It's pretty cool. So investment clubs are pretty standard. Hell, Jim Cramer has his investment club, which you can probably do the exact opposite of them. Well, I appreciate that, Ponch. Yeah, we Ponch and I have been talking. The medicine, everything's tied together. First of all, everything is tied together. But doing the medicine work and kind of seeing things, it's pretty cool. Clearly, I didn't do the medicine to be a bitter trader. I was having issues, but a lot of things have gotten better in my life because of wanting to heal myself and then help others heal. So investment clubs, man. The SEC says, yeah, you can have an investment club. One of them is like the Beardstown ladies. You all sit around, you knit, you gossip, and you all decide to buy Apple today. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. That's like one account everybody puts money into, and I think they take turns being the skipper and firing the trades. Uh-uh. I train people to be an independent fighter pilot, right? You're single seat. You're a tick. You're the trader in command, just like the pilot in command. So there's things called self-directed investment clubs where we all get together, we knit, we gossip, and you fire on your own. We talk about stuff in the Max Afterburner group. People post intel that they're seeing and their own trades and everything like that, and you make the decision. It's a buffet. Yeah, I kind of like this. I'm going to pass on the shrimp and I'm going to eat some dessert. So it's kind of the buffet approach. So everybody invests on their own. Um, where did this come from? You guys know my story. I'm not going to beat this dead horse. This is usually for newer people, but there it is. What's that? January 21st. One of the days my life changed. January 21st, 2020. Ray Dalio in Davos. Cash is trash. He learned to regret those words. The next day, January 22nd, Donald Trump in Davos with the beautiful people. Joe Kiernan, throwaway question. Oh, Mr. President, before you go, what's up with this China flu? What dumb question, Joe? Why are you asking me such a dumb question? Nobody's dumber than you, believe me. Trust me. You're dumb. Not coming here. I trust ye. It's stupid. You're dumb. You're an idiot. I looked into that camera and I said, get out. He's lying. I had a I had a deep throat, so to speak. It was like, dude, it's coming here. Remember the four senators that would leave the skiffs and go, everything's fine. Everybody remain calm. It's nothing to be worried about. Yeah, get me out of everything and schedule a call with all my friends to get them out of everything. I did outsider trading. So, excuse me, I told everybody who would listen, wrote a book about it. So that's, fame. The coronavirus is very much under control in the USA. We are in contact with everyone in all relevant countries. Stock market looking very good to me. Stock market looking very good to me. 2020, folks, February 24th. This didn't age well, but thanks for the 760 grand this week. Ah, that did not age well. And then what happened? After we hit the bottom during the COVID crash, here's Jeffrey Gunlock on Susie's birthday. I'm shorting the market. We're going to go back down to those March lows. So all these guys missed the implosion. And then that Thursday morning jobs report, it was a weekly jobs number. It was 6 million. I was getting ready to hit enter on the biggest bearish trade on my life when Jerome Powell jumped in and changed capitalism forever and dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon known to man. I deleted everything I was about to type and retyped it and said, what? Buy everything with both hands. And then there's Jeffrey Gunlock saying, nope, we're going to go back down to those March lows. He got completely destroyed. We are the smart money, folks. This is better than any hedge fund I know because we have small business owners, doctors, lawyers, people who work in pharma companies. We have airline pilots. We got active duty military. We have our own hedge fund, folks. And guess what? We research because we care. Told you the guy that I fired in Chicago, man, right? Immunogen. 4 minutes and no, I'm sorry, in minutes he lost $4 million. Walked him out the door, up those steps right there. What were you thinking? He was a good. I drank with him. He was a good dude. Was my money, Wiz? This is it's your money. Nobody cares more about your money than you. And if you don't, you're weird. And we red team, right? People throw trade ideas in the Max Afterburner group. It's an app on your phone and it's web based. Folks, I can be and I do trade on the beach, trade on the ski lift. I trade everywhere in the Max Afterburner group on the app. It is so awesome. But we also red team. Trading solo sucks. If you're sitting there in your bunny slippers, drinking your coffee, listening to Jim Cramer, like, okay, I think he's right. Enter, fire, lose money. Throw that in the Max Afterburner group and go, here's what I'm thinking, rip it apart. And if it's red teamed and you're like, no, nobody really landed a punch, it's a good look. I get good trades from the Max Afterburner group, except Mara. So we have two investment club. I'm kidding. The Max Afterburner, which is lifetime. You get access to everything, anything new we launch at Top Gun Options for the rest of your life. It's, I mean, people that got in at the stupid price years ago, man, you're printing money. And then the Hunters, it's not lifetime. You still pay a membership and stuff like that. It's kind of like the junior lifetime group, so to speak. It's all web based. All my trades go in there and my intel. But when I'm in front of a computer, that's why the Max Afterburner is better. You get everything from me, open, closing, personal accounts up 108%. You doubled your money in a year. I'm laying on the couch. I'm at a Panthers game tonight. I get some intel. It goes right into the Max Afterburner group. It's essentially 24/7. It's like one-on-one coaching. If you got a question, you ask me directly, or I prefer you ask the team because there are smart people in there. Um, like I tell people, this thing's worth it's priceless. Contacts in a big building that has five sides, contacts, well, older contacts, and then all these people in Congress now. It's a and then hedge funds up in Greenwich, London. Got a buddy in Hong Kong. You get access to all that stuff, folks, and all your fellow squadron mates opening trades and stuff like that. And like I said, everything current and any future products and services. I was close to launching crypto, and then I said no. We'll see. Lifetime membership, it's up around 24 based on everything we have. There is an annual 495 maintenance fee, but I'm going to knock this off uh, because the people who reached out wanted to donate to the foundation. I'm like, I'll go back to what the offer was the last time I did this. I think it was November or October. I'm the only guy that does this, folks. And at the industry events that I go to, people kind of give me shit about this. They're like, "What are you, stupid? You're losing money." But no, I'm not stupid. This is an incredible benefit. A couple people already, I think Charles, have uh, transferred it to their immediate family. You can give this to your kids, your spouse, whoever. It can go to an immediate family member, not your best friend type of thing, folks. I don't do that. I'm not that dumb. But if you want to give to one of your kids when you're kind of done, absolutely, man, you're allowed to transfer it. So that's worth its weight in gold. Um, can't believe you are allowing immediate family members to use the information. Never heard of that. You're the only one doing this. Might as well call it a family plan, which I would have done that yesterday. Got it. Well, anyway, um, that's what the investment looks like. If you got back in here, you're literally printing money. That's been the growth of it, man. We did it, Joe. That's inflation. You get access to all the stuff. You know this. You get access to everything we do here at Top Gun Options. You get access to the weekly options on future service if you want to trade options on futures. And I know Nell is actually looking at some upgrades to that service. She's actually coming over here in a couple days from the west coast of Florida to meet. So, and you can auto trade the weekly options on futures service. And folks, um, the reason I break this up, I'll show you what the offer is. You can donate to the No Fallen Heroes Foundation directly, and sponsor a veteran or first responder for treatment. We budget 5 grand ish for Costa Rica or Mexico, 3,200 to go to the Do Good Ranch in Colorado. So 1.5 veterans essentially for 5 grand when we go to Colorado. So I'm gonna give you two options. You can do a one-time payment to Top Gun Options and the foundation, split that payment up, or you can do 12 monthly payments. The two people that reached out this week are going to do the 12 monthly payments and a one-time payment to the foundation. So instead of 24 grand, I'll honor the 2023 last time I did this because they were like, we wanted to do it then and couldn't. I'm like, okay. So 10K to TGO, which was one trade before Christmas in 3 hours. So, or five and not or and 5K directly to the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. I'm not gonna. I don't see it. You can send it right there. In the materials tab is the lifetime agreement, and it has the wire instructions. Okay, so 10K to TGO, 5K to the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. It is an IRS approved uh, charity. Okay, so let's make a deal. The two people who reached out earlier this week, the reason I'm doing this brief, are going to do 12 monthly payments of $1,000 and a one time to the thing. If you do a one pay, it's 10 plus 5. But if you're going to spread it out over 12 months, I'm not going to lose a little bit of money. So it'll end up being 12. Let me give you that link right now before I forget. It's right here. This is the 12 monthly payments of $1,000. Okay. If I don't make $1,000 a month, I'm a complete idiot. And that there is no probability of that happening. So there's the link to do 12 monthly payments of $1,000 for lifetime. Um, Hell, I'm making a couple grand selling Mara covered calls. So there you go. That's the link, and then the to send the 5 to the foundation. The information is in the document right there. You can wire the 5 to the foundation. I prefer a wire, folks, because PayPal, it's like a 3% fee, man, and that money is directly taken away from what we're doing on the foundation side. So it kind of sucks. Bottom line, you can join Lifetime today. If you want to reach out to me and kind of work a drug deal, hey Wiz, I want to do this or this. I'm about putting the ladder down to help you guys out. Okay, so drug deals, let me know. But this is kind of the standard. They're like, can I do a monthly and then send the donation? Done. Do that. So 12 monthly payments of $1,000 and then 5 to the foundation to help save um, a life. I don't even need to do this guarantee. If I don't make it, I was the last time we talked about this. I think it was going to be $1,500 a month. So not. I guarantee if I don't make $1,000 in one of those months, in the next 12 months, you don't have to pay that month. How about that? That's just not going to happen. Reminder: there is an annual maintenance fee every January 1st of $4.95 to keep everything kind of help keep the lights on. Prefer a wire transfer because the PayPal's 3%. And you're in a pretty cool club, man. There's people have gotten to invest in the uh, No Fallen Heroes um, entertainment division, which I had a 2 hour call yesterday with a creative team, man. We are mapping out. I got 2 weeks to come up with not necessarily me, but this team that I'm working with the show line and the document. So the production stuff is getting airborne. A lot of you were able into um, whatever, Rick, ACH it's called, wire or ACH. The ACH instructions are on the form, Rick. Um, the you know, some of you invested in the REIT. It's so awesome for the people that invested in the REIT. $50 million from Piper Sandler. They've pledged another $50 million. And there's a local investor in South Florida who's going to match. If I think I don't want to get ahead of my ski tips. Let's just say that the REIT is chugging along pretty massively. Uh, the microdoses investors and Maverick Mind. Hopefully, you got that letter from BJ about kind of what 2024 looks like. We have executives from Live Nation in the microdoses leadership team. That holy water stuff, and hopefully, eventually, the Maverick Mind products aren't going to be in sports venues and Florida Panthers. Holy water. So anyway, and obviously tomorrow we're going to learn about the healing clinic in Oregon with new growth. So, and like I said, you can transfer to an immediate family member. Okay, and if you're a senior, don't worry about it. Andrew, I was 73 when I became a lifetime member. I'm going to leave it to my children or my grandchildren. Um, Dennis, I think I saw you in here, Dennis. I'm 71. I'm a lifetime uh, member. My current lift target. Oh, he's talking about his benching. Dwayne, I went lifetime when I was realizing I was making 20 grand per month listening to you. Larry, this is a big one. Larry, folks should really think about lifetime. When I joined in 2013, I thought I'd do it for a year or so and move on my own. That worked for a while. Then I came back, joined again a few years later. I find the intel to be priceless. My point is that I've spent more on annual memberships over the years than lifetime. Okay. And there's other stuff here. I mean, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass from other people. The results speak for themselves. Period. 108. I think that's an old screenshot. I thought it was like closer to 120. That might have been late December screenshot. Um, but anyway, okay. Any questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, for lifetime. Let's make a deal. You can do 12 monthly payments, or you can do a lump sum 10 to TGO and 10 to the foundation. Karen, reach out to BJ. And check spam, uh, because they sent out a nice email. But here's the lifetime agreement. Do me a favor and just sign and date it. It's just saying, hey, here's what I'm getting, and here's 10 grand to TGO and 5 to the foundation, and the ACH instructions are down here, or wire ACH. I don't know what the difference is. But there you go, 10 to TGO and 5 to the foundation. And obviously all our IRS info is on the website. So you get a nice tax deduction, and you get to sponsor 1.5 vets if we go to Colorado, or one vet or first responder if we head down to Mexico. Nicole and I are meeting this weekend to go over the 2024 retreat schedule. So I'm really excited with that. Just had my first dog. Oh, congrats, Brett. That is awesome, man. Congratulations. That is fantastic. Um, okay. Good stuff. All right, let's get going and get airborne. That was quicker than I thought, which was good. A little bit of a dead cat bounce with the S&P 500 bounced right. Look at Mara. So funny. Mara is the weather in Florida in the spring. You don't like Mara, wait 10 minutes. But there's a bounce. Look at that. Implosion, bounce off a 70. That was 75, right? Where's my 75 line? It's not in there. Um, yeah, just shoot me an email. Yep. But it bounces off 25s, folks. Look at that. Implosion, bounce off 75, implosion, bounce off 50. This has been a little bit of a monster run, man. This thing, we double topped up here yesterday. We hit like 48. I think it kissed 4,800, and then went down. It imploded like yesterday afternoon, which was interesting, and then popped. Look at that. That your melt up and then a smash right at the end there. I had to dogfight in my S&P 500 trade. All right, let's. Yeah, here's the link. This is the for the $1,000 a month. Soon as I see, or you can shoot me an email like, hey, Wiz, I'm in. I need to move some money around or something like that. I'll give you access to the Max Afterburner group as soon as you're like, hey, man, I'm in. I'm just figuring some stuff out. I'll hook you up immediately. I trust. Um, so that's the link to pay $1,000 a month for 12 months. I guarantee you, I'm making at least $1,000 a month. I can do that in a sniper on the S&P. I've been briefing, but we could have done that a couple times today on those 25 swings. So, and then obviously the 5 you can either wire to the foundation or ACH, whatever it's called, or you can use your credit card. You can go to the No Fallen Heroes site, but again, I'm asking you not to, because um, the PayPal fees suck. It's just they don't. You would think with the foundation they'd be nice or donated or something, but they don't give a shit. So here's the link. If you can use your credit card if you want your airline miles or whatever that is, it's right there. Donate 5,000. I'll even let you break it up, folks. If you want to get to 5 by doing it monthly, however you want to do it, you can do it that way too. So thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. Oh, before I forget, if you're like, man, I'm not there yet, but I want access to this, it's called the Hunters, man. It's kind of the junior lifetime. You're still paying whatever membership you're in, but you can get access to this right here, man. This is a pretty active group as well. The link to join that is right here in the middle. It's either $4.97 a month. Don't do that for too long. Why? Because that's just under 6 grand. This is the I want to dip my toe in the Hunters, that investment club. Then email Susie and say, hey, man, I want a 50% discount. I'll do the annual full throttle membership. So if you want access to the Hunters, you're not ready for lifetime right now, it's the Hunters over here. So for all my solo Amazon people who I see running around in here, time for you to step up if you want. The full throttle monthly, does not get you access to the Hunters. It's just not, you're not paying it. So that's just That's the primary brief, accelerated retirement, weekly options, and the 8 training sessions. These two get you into the hunters. Okay. So sorry about that. Forgot to brief that. All right, let's go. I love what the S&P 500 is doing right now. We already talked about this. I mean, uh, what a horrific story. I read this entire thing about this heroic battlefield failure. Three of those words going together is ridiculous. Ain't nothing heroic about stupid. We really don't have weapons. The Ukrainian generals are ordering us to attack this highly fortified Russian position. We don't have any air cover, and it was a meat grinder. So this article, I mean, you're there. The way this reporter wrote this and the horror that these men are experiencing is awful. Um, my God, it's just it hurts to read. Let me give you this. If you didn't read this, have a cup of coffee, and you know, enjoy your cup of coffee as you're sitting here reading about the absolute horror going on the other side of the war. It's devastating. Dennis, does Hunters Yearly give you access to Solo Amazon? No, this is all full throttle. Solo Amazon is its own standalone service. That's kind of our gateway drug for people to join TGO. Full throttle is primary, primary on Tuesday, weekly options on Wednesday, and today AR, accelerated retirement. Solo Amazon is Mondays. Obviously, in Max Afterburner Lifetime, you get access to all of that stuff. So yeah, Solo Amazon is separate from these. That's why Lifetime's better, man. You don't even worry about anything ever again. You're in everything. Um, U.S. UK warships shoot down Houthi barrage in the Red Sea. U.S. considers retaliatory strikes. I've already ranted about this enough. Apparently, somebody needs to die in our Navy, or some civilians need to die. Before I jumped on the air this morning, I saw breaking news that some of these terrorists had seized some sort of commercial vessel and was sailing it to Iran. So there you go, man. Weakness invites aggression. I just can't. You can't. So again, 2024, it's going to get worse. Inflation edged up in December after rapid cooling most of 2023. CPI rose in December and this is the big one. Let's go just look at the picture because I love it. I don't love raging inflation, folks, but they're not done. I don't get it. Where's year over year? Right here. I love how it's green too. Why does Forex Factory make that green? So again, one more time. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Democrats. We had nothing to do with raging inflation. Oh, it's imploding? We have everything to do with it. It's the Inflation Reduction Act. Lies. Then what's this? Boing. Does this look neat to you? Ladies and gentlemen, the Fed's target rate is down here. I'm telling you, the Fed is not done. Jim Cramer, this morning, somebody look at the March Fed funds futures rates today. They were like, the market, not me, the market is like, oh yeah, they're going to be cutting rates in March. I'm like, I think this might take the wind out of that a little bit. But again, ladies and gentlemen, the market is living where? Here. The market is not namaste. It is not present. It's right here, out into the future where we're cutting. But guess what is here? Us. Earnings. Captain, what's his name at the end of Saving Private Ryan? Learn this. Earnings. Earnings are going to be impacted by raging inflation. They should be impacted by raging inflation, but maybe not in such a bad way, right? What do I mean by that? Folks, like I talked about, I haven't seen one company, you know what? We're having price reductions. Everything is raging. Everything is expensive. But this whole twister of credit card debt maxed out over $1.1 trillion, Americans doom spending into Christmas, and raging inflation. One more time, the market is not the economy, but the economy is going to start showing cracks. Usually, I said this yesterday, but anytime in my over 3 decades of doing this, whenever you see the stock market doing this, while the macroeconomic stuff is doing that, that doesn't go on forever, even with the Fed supporting the market. This delta, those lines end up meeting, and it's usually violent and ugly and potential recessionary. Jamie Dimon was on with Maria Bartiromo the other day. Really good interview. He could not have sounded more bearish on the economy. So, um, wow, David. I got in Lifetime about 5 years ago. Over the next 1.5 years, made 450 grand. Got a job for 4 years and now just getting back into trading. Hope to do at least that, and I'll be happy. David, when I end this brief, I'm stealing some of these testimonials. That is nicely done, David. David's buying lifetime memberships for all his friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not good news. And you can tell the S&P 500 right now is like looking around, going, well, are we are we good? Are we going to hang up here, or is somebody going to call uncle? And this run up into a hot inflation print, we bounced right off 4750 as talked about, but now it's no man's land, right? I love all of you who shot snipers at the open up here. Let me say this again. Um, when you see something like this, like in the Max Afterburner group, lying in bed, I know you don't want that visual, but I'm drinking my coffee and there's the print and the futures. I'm like, the market ain't going to celebrate 3.4 inflation. Open and then slam. So this was free money. There was nothing smart about that. No offense to Tony, Wiz, or Punch. We will be the first ones to admit we ain't smart. That's free money, folks. Now we're in the hesitation mode. But I don't, with raging inflation, um, and I can say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm not necessarily going to say raging because up here was 9.1%. Do you remember the day that you were here last year when it leaked the day before? Hey, I heard that it's going to be 10.1% tomorrow. Double digits. What did the market do that Wednesday afternoon? It got decimated. What happened the next morning? 8:30 a.m., Rick Santelli, breaking news. It's only 9.1. What did the futures do for an hour from 8:30 to 9:30? Rip your face off rally. 800 points. Futures were up. I'm like, am I the only smart person on this planet? That was the yoga morning. I'm like, you pound this thing into the dirt. The market opened, gapped up, and then it went up like 800 or whatever it was. It ended up the day down like 2%. It was comical. That's just using your brain. That's strategery, to quote George Bush, the cokehead. So, folks, this ain't hard. You can do this. And there's the looks like S&P. It's starting to listen to us. Oh, I appreciate that, Rick. No rate hike, rate reduction 66%. Those numbers are up. Or no, the other way. I'm sorry. So this print this morning is impacting what the market's thinking the Fed's going to do. All right, this is funny. SEC approves Bitcoin ETFs for everyday investors. So 2 days ago, somebody didn't hack the Twitter account. They had to restate that, right? Twitter's like, no, no, no. We looked into it, and whichever doofus at the SEC has their cell phone, they did not use two-factor authentication. So you did this. It wasn't on X, but of course, with the Elon Musk he does drugs hit piece. This government is gunning for Elon Musk. We know that. They're gunning. The Labor Department's looking into hiring practices at Tesla and SpaceX and whatever. So finally, yesterday afternoon, we knew this was going to happen because I think at like 3:30, the SIBO posted a bunch of products like, "Hey, tomorrow morning at 09:30, we're going to start trading these options in these." Okay, so the market knew, so it really does feel like a buy the rumor, sell the news. So Mara spiked up to 28 this morning. I had holy shit. Okay, so I was worried this morning. I sold 3 28 short calls. This look at that. Oh my God. Thank you, Mara. Oh man. Well, so I guess I'm gonna make the 1,200 bucks in my short 28 calls. Oh my God. So this just goes to show you, folks, clearly a buy the rumor, sell the news. Back here in December, November, hey, they're going to get it approved to do, Bitcoin ETFs and then the chop. Now, so I have no idea. I admit what I'm doing is gambling. Ain't no investing. Ain't no fundamentals in this shit at all. So I guess I'm keeping my 1,000 shares that I wanted to glad when it opened up to 28 this morning. I'm like, good, get the Mara out of my account so I can move on to other stuff, and it's not going to let me do that. So that's fantastic. Oh yeah. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. So, you know, did Bitcoin implode? What's the price of Bitcoin? I don't even know where you look for that. I just Google it. Bitcoin price. Yeah. So Bitcoin gave up the ghost as well. Oh my gosh, that's just so funny. But I don't think it's Bitcoin is going out of business. It's a Ponzi scheme that needs new people to get into. So new people are going to get in via the ETFs, right? So I don't think it's over, but it's just funny. The funniest part about this, ladies and gentlemen, was the SEC chairman's tweet. Did you read it? If you're a criminal or a terrorist, you can still do this. Investors should remain, the SEC, is not endorsing this. It's used for criminals and terrorists, but we're going to approve it. You could make up his tweet. I would not trade this. Investors shouldn't trade this. Terrorists use it, criminals use it, but we're going to approve it. It was comical to read that guy's tweet. I'm like, did what? What do we have here? Amazon is about to eat the television universe. Um, oh, and by the way, uh, the production team yesterday is like, oh yeah, we're doing the series, but Live might not keep it. If it explodes, they'll sell it to Amazon or something. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So Amazon, which we all call the Death Star, is about to eat the TV universe. On January 29th, Prime Video will make its ad tier the default for its tens of millions of subscribers, a move that could unravel how advertisers deal with TV broadcasters and scare off rivals with its massive scale. Ladies and gentlemen, the Death Star is past being fully operational. Marketing or top advertising executives call a tornado that will upend the streaming video landscape. Folks, I ain't telling you anything new. Duh. That's why we're in solo Amazon. That's why we're in our synthetic stocks and everything like that. This is the gift that keeps on giving. It is. We will get to the problem someday of scale, right? The law of large numbers, right? It goes from being a growth stock to a value stock, all that type of discussion. But for now, what do Goose and I always tell you? When in doubt, run to Ma. Microsoft, and Amazon. Do not run to little a, Apple, because it's rotten and it will go out of business when China destroys it. When in doubt, run to Ma. I say the exact opposite of Jim Cramer. Own Apple, don't trade it. Uh-uh. Do not own Apple, trade the shit out of it. I'd say the exact opposite, and that's what makes a market. S&P 500, 147.50 all over again. Okay, so Amazon right now in my personal account, I got a Iron Condor that is underwater, the 152 and a half, 155s. We talked about this yesterday. You could have, as Amazon rallied, you could have closed these short calls in the bear call spread and let these 155 calls run. That's called dog fighting. Okay. But you have to make that decision and be, you ready for this? Right. If you close these short calls as Amazon starts to rally through your short strike and then it peters out and you now you lost money on the short calls and you lost money on the long calls. It's a very sporty decision. Okay. I will also tell you that it's Thursday morning at 10:55. I'm going to hang a little bit more in this because we also get PPI tomorrow morning. I think the last time this happened, CPI came in a little hot, and so did the PPI. And then the market kind of had a big implosion. So I'm going to hang. But I wanted to brief real quick ways to potentially dogfight. You can close the short calls and let the long calls ride. Okay. That would have had to have been a snap decision. When should you look at maybe making that decision? We know before we get into a trade when we should potentially make that decision. And when is it? Double the credit you take in at that potential ejection point. Double the credit you take in, you should look around and go, holy crap, man, is this thing going to keep it's ripping higher? That's when you make the decision to either eject or to close the short calls and let the long calls ride. Now, beware of assignment. When can you, and I also have short 152.5 calls out to Friday. This is my synthetic stock on Amazon. So these short calls right here, I need to manage. Why? If by tomorrow's closing bell, Amazon is above 152.5, when you sell something, you have obligations. When I sell these 152.5 calls, I am obligated Saturday morning when options contracts settle to deliver 200 shares to somebody on the other side of this trade. E-Trade's going to come and look at my account and go, Liz don't have no 200 shares. So now you got negative 200 shares. So I would be Monday morning short 200 shares of Amazon. There have been times when I've said, you know what, I don't mind that. And I've taken delivery of these. Why? Because Amazon had this pop like it has, and I expect it to drop. That is not for the faint of heart, period. There was a time like 3 or 4 months ago where I had a closing order in and didn't get filled. I was under the impression if you have a closing order in, they're walled off and you can't get assigned. Apparently, I was wrong, or E-Trade technology was wrong. Here's what I'm getting at. I woke up with, what was it, 5,000 shares of short Amazon shares in my account Monday morning. They didn't settle on Saturday. So not until I logged in Monday morning, I'm like, what the? Thank God Almighty, Amazon went down like 2% that Monday morning, and I got out and made like 8 grand. Luck, because by the time I got out, it did the open, it went down a little bit. The rest of the day, it went up. I would have been destroyed. So listen to me. I ain't taking credit for making 8 grand. That was stupidity. Do not let these short calls close in the money or you will be assigned. 99.9% probability you can be assigned. Oh, by the way, you can listen to me. This is the academic answer. You can be assigned at any time, whether they're in the money or not. Do you understand that? Now, it would make very little sense if, somebody on the other side of the trade to do that, unless we're pretty damn sure of something. Does everybody understand this? This is critical. Every couple months we have somebody like, whoa, I woke up Saturday morning with short shares in my account. Yep. Manage them. Manage the short calls now. For now, I'm gonna hang. I don't know if Amazon's imploding $2 in the next 24 hours, but it's Amazon. It tends to move. It can have, but look at these big swings. Look at these gap downs and these gap ups, and we bumped right up against 155, which was this range. So, um, can it fade by tomorrow? Yeah. So I'm going to keep an eye on the bear call spread, and I'm certainly not dogfighting the bear call spread now, closing the 152 and a half and letting these run. I think Amazon and the entire market is running out of steam here. Okay. So that's what's going on. The last thing you could do, or one of the things you could do with the bear call spread that's underwater, is roll it up for tomorrow, right? I have the 152 and a half 155s. You could ungroup, I'm not going to do it since I have a ton of Amazon in here. You could ungroup the iron condor and roll the bear call spread up to maybe the 155, 157 and a half for tomorrow. If you're a roller, you can do that. The math just, it's hard for me to track sometimes. Let me just ungroup it real quick. 152 and a half, 155s. Okay. So right now, the 152 and a half, 155 bear call spread, I'm down $2,300 in. Okay. I could click adjust and roll it up, create order. Uh, and it would be, well, this rolls it up to the 157 and a half, 160. But look at what I'm doing. It's a debit spread of like $2,900. That makes no sense to me. Or you could maybe roll it up and out to next Friday. Let's go out to next Friday, Jan 24, Jan 24. And look at this. It's still a debit of $2,100. If people, it's like voting in Chicago. I tell people if you're going to roll often and roll early, right? Vote often and vote early. So back in the day when I was lowly, stupid retail trader, I was a rolling fiend. Um, eh, 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 but my one of my SOPs was like, it has to be for a credit. I'm not going to roll for a debit. So I'm out of the practice of rolling. I prefer to close the damn trade and establish a new one. If I think Amazon is topping out here, I'm going to go out the next Friday, sell a bear call spread up here above it, close the losing one right now, open a new one. That's just kind of how I do things. But you are the pick. You're the pilot in command, the trader in command, the tick of your portfolio. But it certainly seems like we've kind of stair stepped up here into a raging inflation report, and I think Amazon might fade. So it's up to you. Maybe look out to next Friday. See if there is any premium in that 150. Now look at the strikes out the next Friday. They have 155 and a halfs, 156s. All right, now it's getting goofy. Something like this out the next Friday. Sell 50 of next Friday's 155 and a half calls. Buy the 156 for 21 cents. I could do more than that. Maybe 75. See, now it's all weird strike pricing, man. Now I got to recalibrate my brain. Um, so bear call spread, enough rambling. I'm going to hang for now and the short calls. I will close today or tomorrow before market close. Do not, and you can be assigned, folks. The middle of the day tomorrow, somebody could look at E-Trade could go in your account and go, Wiz, that bear call spread is pretty much underwater. Oh, for a while there, E-Trade would auto do stuff. There on page 92 of your brokerage agreement, folks, it says, by the way, we reserve the right to manage your account for you if we think you're an idiot. Um, and that's happened to me before. And I've ended up being right most of the time. I'm like, do not touch that trade. I believe it's going to come back down. Well, on our agreement at 2 o'clock on the day of whatever or the day before, we're allowed to. So the E-Trade professional team kind of knows me by now. But you know, anyway, I finally got into I had to go all the way into Boeing to get filled. I had to go all the way up to the ask. all the way up to the ask and got filled, and it immediately got filled and was a loss. So that can happen. Um, and I should have closed this out yesterday. This is gambling. The Mara bull put spread was up like 70% yesterday, or no, 60%. I'm like, all right, well, should get approval after the thing, and I should have closed this Mara bull put spread because it's fading the news. The good news is what? The bearish double vertical we have is starting to wake up. It's up 1,200 bucks today, still underwater a little bit, but man, if this is doing exactly what it's supposed to do on a big red day right now, you should have a Christmas tree in your portfolio at all times. On a big green day, you should have some green and some red, and the red should be your hedges or treads. Or you could do what? You could, um, or on a big red day like today, you should have a green, and that's your ejection seat. So it's just good trading that we have um, this on. Um, yeah, I think I said that, Charles. I said you could roll it up for tomorrow. Exactly. But it would be for a debit. Okay. Larry, it is closing the existing trade and rolling it up. It's semantics, Barry. It is the same thing. On that order ticket, it closes the one and establishes the new one. Um, but for me, did you see the math on the order ticket? It's like it's a I don't roll for debits. I like closing the losing one for 2,100 bucks or whatever and establishing the new one. It's Barry, it's about presentation for me and the math, the appearance of stuff. I don't like looking at stuff going, why am I rolling a loser? I don't like rolling losers. I like closing losers and putting on a new one that I think is going to make money. Does that make sense? Ken, I think we're going to arbitration. The last communication was on page 1,000 of your E-Trade agreement. You can't sue us. You agree to binding arbitration. So I've got to look into that with my 9-day jobs to deal with E-Trade. So it sucks. Okay. Does that make sense? All good stuff. Briefed everything that's going on. Obviously, big red day, which is good in some ways. No idea what's going on with Mara. Don't care. Got 1,000 shares. I'm gonna figure that shit out. It's comical to me. But we got decision point here, right around 47.50. So implosion, bounce, implosion, big bounce, implosion. I think there's going to be some more profit taking. That's the only reason I'd still be hanging in Amazon for just a little bit more, because we might if we get a hot PPI tomorrow. We're absolutely, it'll confirm that. But you know what? That's a risk. We get a soft PPI tomorrow, and the market could say, you know what, that was a blip, and we're heading higher. So welcome to the world of trading, man. Welcome to the world of investing and you know putting all the intel together and trying to make informed decisions. Okay. All right, man. Good week. Really, really interesting week of trading. Any questions or concerns about the lifetime stuff? So we got two people who are already kind of in the pipeline to do this. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do a brief Thursday morning. There's the monthly lifetime membership. $12,000 billed over 12 months. And then obviously the five to the foundation. You can either donate with credit card or you can do an ACH wire. The agreement is on the materials tab right there. So make sure you load that and take a picture of it or just scan it and send it to me just so I have it on file. And then obviously everybody has if you're interested, join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Daniel. It'll be a quick brief, 20, 30 minutes. So come with your questions for tomorrow. Where's the link for tomorrow to copy registration link? Here's the link for tomorrow to join. So go through the deck and red team and get ready to ask some questions. Um, didn't think I'd be spending a lot of time in Oregon, but I'm looking forward to heading out there. And the two clinics are really good. I got a virtual tour of where is it? This one's beautiful. This one is like right out of central casting. when you see it. Maybe Daniel will bring the virtual tour. This looks like an Oregon psilocybin clinic, man. It just doesn't get any more earthy and spiritual and healing than that place. I haven't seen that bottom one yet though. But I want to head out there and put eyes on and check it out. So the math is pretty good with this. Let me finish with this. I have no idea. So, but I see it, right? Just like I've deployed a lot of ships, man. I got a shitload of money and time, obviously, in the production, the REIT, microdoses with the Maverick Mind product, and now a healing center. So I'm all in on this stuff, folks. Why? Because I believe in it, because it's changed and saved my life. You got people, your fellow TGO members sitting in here as well, Kid, and Linda and some other folks who are currently here. It saved and changed their life and just created a whole different life for them, right? So that's why I'm all in on this. I put my money where my mouth is, and it's a lot. Um, so the REIT, microdoses, the Oregon Clinic, uh, and then obviously the production. One or all of those things, in my opinion, have a big potential to hit. If you look at the math of this, unless everybody's lying, right? Unless everybody on this waiting list, folks, if you follow me on social media too, you see that I wake up every day, man, new healing grant requests, and I love seeing the success stories. Psilocybin saved my life, and oh my God. So unless everybody's lying, this is pretty damn solid. But you know me, I'm always going to hedge and go, you could lose every fucking penny of your money, period. I have no clue. But if I'm in it to win it. So, but I can be a complete uh, fool sometimes. Not often. Ken, I get it. You know, you know, what's his name? Gavin, useless in California, vetoed this stuff. Why? His what mother-in-law, Nancy Pelosi, big pharma, man. So I love Oregon and I love Colorado. It's just it's comical that California, the land of fruits and nuts, they were really pissed. A lot of the Democrats in California were like, are you kidding? We should be leading on this. Why are we behind Oregon and Colorado?" So, all right, guys, good stuff. If you got any questions about the Lifetime or the Hunters, just shoot me an email, whiz at Top Gun Options, and I'll answer it. Looks like my phone's buzzing, so we might be getting people. Let me know. You have the wire instructions. You have all the information you need. We're gonna have a blast this year, man. You doubled your money essentially if you were in the Max Afterburner group from last year. So uh, I'm predict. This is gonna be an incredible year. I hate that it's just a day on the calendar and everybody does this new year, new me shit. I'm the same me, but looking at these strategic objectives for 2024, this is going to be a blast, and you want to be a part of a cool team. The Max Afterburner group, we all become buddies and friends. We hang out together, we do events. It's pretty cool. So, all right, I got to get going. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the brief with Daniel. Download the deck. Come with questions. Fights on. Namaste through 4750 as briefed. There it goes. Fights on, and I'll see you tomorrow.